Hi, and welcome to today's show. This is your number one wellness podcast, the Hilltop Podcast KE. Subscribe and keep with us for more fun episodes. So today, I am alone, as you can see. Your host is alone, Mr. Moru, I'm alone. And today I'm talking about something very, very, very important to all of us with regards to healing as a topic and as a lifestyle. I want to talk about one thing. What is something that you could change about your childhood and why? This is a question that my therapist, Sharon, asked me at some point. I never did this assignment at all. What is something that you would change about your childhood and why? So, first of all, hi, how are you? Have you been? Hey, small banter. I've had a lot of things happening in my life. I've had follow-ups with friends. I've had follow-ups with family. I've had so many tiny little things happening that have made me believe that really, truly, we deserve this podcast. That is Therapy Mtaani. That is, the Hilltop Podcast. We really need to kind of, focus a bit on healing before we can even think about other aspects of life. So today, let us answer my therapist question with you. Rather, let me reflect on let me answer that question here so that as a viewer or as a listener, you can go and think about your own life and reflect on your childhood, because many of us suffer from childhood trauma, if not all of us, so that you can go and reflect on your childhood kidogo and see some of the things that you would want to fix or rather want to change and why. So I made a list of 5 things as I was prepping for the episode, and I'd like us to look at them, just them, for today, because obviously there's a lot that one would change about their childhood. First of all, there's a lot I will change, and let me start with what I'll not change. I'll not change my siblings and my parents. I feel like I got the best of the best. The Lord has favored me. The Lord favored me to bless them with to bless me with the family that I have. That's it. Let's talk about now what I'd love to change about that childhood and why. Number 1, where I grew up. That is the kind of environment I grew up in, the home, the town, the everything. Why I'd love to change this? Honestly, when I think about my life right now, and when I reflect on my behavior ever since I started becoming conscious of myself as an adult or as a human being, I've come to notice that there's some very, very tiny habits that I possess that I do not see in other people who grew up in very different environments. For instance, rudeness, vulgar, vulgar. If you know where I come from, if you know the environment. There's a lot of people are always hurling insults everywhere, anywhere. People are always very rude and rough, and just very rough, especially rough. So obviously our parents gave us the best that they could. So we grew up where we were, where we come from. So that I didn't get to choose my ancestors and everything, but if I was asked, I'd not want to grow up in that kind of environment, because, I grew up with seeing grown-ups being very mannerless, as a kid, you see a grown-ass man, they want to come and, touch you. You're a kid in class 3. And nigga wants, very mannerless people, very, very, what can I say? People are a bit behind in time, or rather a bit not civilized, my society, where I come from. Civilization levels are a bit chini kidogo. So that inherently affects you, because even if you don't end up being completely uncivilized as the environment you grew up in, because luckily we got to go to some good schools, there is a part of you that innately act like these people. Like you find yourself, like many people, we'll talk about that in the next episode, but not one person or two people have told me that I'm rude, that I'm a rude person. And normally, when you grow up, when we were growing up, or when we even are with my homies or my siblings and we're just talking, that's how we talk. But when you talk to someone else who's like not Nini, aware of the kind of trauma that we have or the kind of environment we were shaped in or we grew up in, they don't understand why you were just rude and provoked. So number one is that really change the environment. I'd want to grow up in a more child-friendly environment because, as a child, I got to see very, very weird things. I got to experience very weird things because of my environment. I got to experience sexual assault. I got to experience, I don't know, so many interesting things. But today's Nini is not to really delve into what we're going to experience in our environment. It's about thinking about what you would want to change in your childhood and why. So number one for me is my environment. Then number two, I'd also love to change the fact that I wasn't affirmed. Okay, I'd want to be affirmed more and more. Like affirm, like, affirmations are like reminders, right? Like I'd want to grow up as a kid being affirmed, like things like reminded that I am beautiful, especially that one, that I am beautiful, that I am, the only affirmation that I got was from because of school and performance. So you perform well in school, so so you are termed as bright. So I always knew I was a bright girl, but no one. Okay, my mama always affirmed me in terms of beauty. She'd always tell me that I'm the most beautiful girl ever. But still, I didn't feel like it was enough. So I would say I'd want, especially the I love you, I care for you, you are so beautiful, you're so smart, you are organized, all those good things, I'd have loved especially to hear from my parents, the ones I love you, like the I love you, that one. The child in me would have really loved to hear I love you, not once, not twice, repeatedly. Because the first time I had I love you, I don't even know, it was I think a boy who sent me a card and there was I love you, and I could not stop thinking about this card and the love, whether it was real or not, because that was the first time someone told me I love you, Our parents loved us and they showed us that with actions, but they weren't. So as a person even right now, words of affirmation is one of my top love languages. Like I just love affirmations. I also affirm myself a lot. Naturally, not even nikitaka, like it comes. I find that, I've got to find that you are your own best friend. You should be your own best friend. And when it comes to love, the love you may look for in other people, you should have it in yourself, and it is within you, so I also haven't really gotten to the point where I tell myself I love you, so I think the fact that that's one of the things I would wish for as a child means that it's one thing that I lacked, and that's why right now I can say I've really struggled with matters love, because first of all, even understanding what love is, what it looks like, what it means, how it should be shown or not, kind of things. So as a kid, honestly, I don't know if you relate. If you relate, comment down below. Affirmations, I would really have appreciated more affirmations in my life, especially affirmations of love. And, I would have loved to be told that I'm loved and appreciated and I am, so bright and so cute. Such things, That's one of the things I want to change. Why would I change that? As I've told you, as an adult, hey, I've struggled with matters love, because even when there's no love and someone is saying it, but it's not actually existent, I would believe it, because, they said it. At least they said it. And when someone doesn't say they love me up to date, I feel like, okay, but am I not lovable? Do you, or am I the problem kind of thing? I don't know if I'm the only one in this, but that's one of the reasons I'd change that about my childhood. Because when a kid grows up being told they're loved and feeling love, it's very easy for them to radiate love, to show love, and even to receive love. So for me, it's been very hard to receive love, especially receive love, and even show love to myself, and even tell myself I'm that. And even when someone tells me love, I'm like, do you? Kind of thing. So that's sort of it. It's like, it's a struggle, because that word love, anyway, let's just stop digressing. The point was, as a kid, I'd have loved to be told, to be affirmed more, to be told all the good stuff, to have it, repeated and repeated. So as a parent, if you're a parent watching, maybe try that with the kids. Right now, we're having a better parents, honestly. Better in terms of more woke parents or more healed parents. So as a healed parent of healed thought, please ensure you affirm your kids. I promise you, it's going to change a lot about their self-confidence when they grow up. Right now, building confidence from scratch, it's not easy, but we get there. That thing I'd change about my childhood is I really want more affection and attention. Hugs, kisses, especially hugs from my mom, from my dad. And I've really appreciated. I want to cry about this, but you talk way. We cry. We laugh. We're not afraid to show emotions, because this is a safe space. So if I cry, I cry. But honestly, affection and attention is one thing that as a child I would have really appreciated, and it's one thing even as an adult I appreciate, and it's one thing as a mom or as a parent one day, inshallah, I will really overdose my kids with that. I might hug my children. I will hug them every minute I can, because never having been hugged by my mom or my dad, because where I come from, it was like a taboo. At the hands, especially from your dad. What? So I can't remember that last time, before now I started hugging them in touch. I still haven't gotten the guts to hug my dad. But up until I started hugging my mom, I can't remember her ever hugging me. Of course, when I was a young, small baby, of course she did. Of course, a small baby. But then when I was at age 4, I know myself. I know what's happening in nothing. No. The distance you have is you feel like your parent is so far away. You feel like their love is non-existent. You feel like they're just a cop in your life. It's just a cop. This is just another cop in my life. So I really would wish for a childhood where my parent was more of a, parent than a cop. Like where they would show me affection. I just ended up being a very sensitive. This is my why now. I ended up being a very sensitive adult. Sensitive, completely. Any small thing done to you, not even to you, someone does something and you automatically think it's about you or it's your fault, whatever is happening. You just seek attention from everywhere and nowhere, because you deep down is like a hole inside that you want to fill with external validation. So this I can tie with that for affirmations. I wish I felt more validated as a kid because, right now as an adult, even recently, a friend of mine told me that it's like I would live for people's validation, like, hey, if my friend doesn't tell me that I'm looking cute that day, that's a problem. Or if they give backhanded compliments, some people just give very, like, you look so nice, and they're like, you look nice, what are you doing? Something like that. So instead of feeling bad because they said it like that, just accept the compliment, however way it was said, and move. But now being this kid who feels like I don't feel like I am not okay. But when you do something, some of your actions ndio zinakuonyesha, something is wrong. It's like you lacked 1, 2, 3 things. And when I think about the way I'm affectionate right now, and the way, thank God, I have a very affectionate partner in my life. So I get the hugs that I missed, but I get to hug my siblings a lot, especially my sisters. One of my sisters, I just overdose her with, hugs, and sometimes she just doesn't like it. And I think deep down, I am physical touch also is one of my love languages. I don't know if it's because of that, but I would have wished for more affection from my loved ones growing up, the good kind. I remember as a kid, the only touching I was being touched was being touched inappropriately by either men or boys, just, trying to touch. So touching for me, even right now, unless you are really special, I don't like being touched because I associate, just don't come near me. I associate it with, no, just don't, but the kind of touch, physical touch and affection and attention that I want from my loved ones is a lot. And as a kid, maybe if I did get most of that, right now, ningekuwa a bit, stable emotionally. But I think we're on Hilltop for this moment. This is therapy mtaani, by the way. So I hope it's helping any of us, get a bit into reflecting, over your own life and seeing 1, 2, 3 things you would have loved to change in your childhood and why. And then, therapy, basically, when you talk about it and when you reflect on it, then that's the beginning of healing from that. So I'd talk about this for a long time, the physical affection and attention, but you get the point. So we move to the fourth one, which is I would really want my parents to have gone to therapy before they had us, or before or during even, because Naina, let me even close the notebook on this one. First of all, in therapy, if you're not, just try. At least try the therapy mtaani where you just, talk about some of these things. I, as an adult right now, can attest that 100%, not just me, but, okay, let me talk about me because I know me and maybe my siblings. I can attest that many of our bad habits, or not bad habits, many of our behaviors that are questionable, we inherited them from our caregivers, who obviously also inherited them from their caregivers, who also inherited them from their caregivers. So it's like a whole cycle of, disease. It's not actual disease, but it's disease. It's like a whole, it's like a pandemic being passed from generation to generation, generation to generation. So if I would really wish that back then our parents knew about therapy and what it means to heal yourself from everything that may affect the way you raise a child. Because, when a child is born, there's a word they give it. My therapist, I don't remember it. They're like a blank book, just a clean slate. Like, they're just kids. And then they grow to know of the behaviors and habits and patterns of the people around them, the people who raised them. So if the adult in the case was constantly shouting all the time, they don't know how to speak nicely or politely, they're always rude and, hurling insults and whatever. As a kid, you grow up learning that slowly by slowly. You learn that. So you become an adult, you go out to the world, and obviously you are yourself the creature that they created and molded. So you go to the real world, the other world, and you're like, oh my God, Allah, kumbe when I eating. Kumbe people don't speak like this. Kumbe, I'm supposed to be, calm, collected, and polite, humble, da. But then all those things you never saw them. If respect, you learn to be, respectful and everything. So me, as a kid, you grew up being disrespected, seeing people being disrespected. And then you grew up being taught disrespect. How are you going to end up being a respectful adult? It's like impossible. It's like saying 1 + 1 is 4. There's no way. It's like, oof, action, reaction, whatever, wherever is going to lead to whatever kind of thing. So I wish, even me I'm so scared of having kids because I'm like, I haven't even I'm just getting started with healing, and healing and working on myself and all the self-work and everything. I'm just getting started. So I would really be scared to bring someone in this world when I still, deep down, have so much garbage that I carry from my childhood and, even young adulthood, from all my experiences. So these two adults, I really would wish they even did even that up in that, because like this time, but there were no platforms like these. So I really don't blame them. I also love them so much, and I understand them because I cannot imagine what they also went through with their own parents, and what their own parents went through with their parents, and blah, 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 So it still doesn't change the fact that I wish I was brought up by, people who were a bit healed, but, and the effects of that are the reason why we have therapy mtaani today. So I guess ni life. And I thank God that right now parents are woke and consciously parenting and bettering themselves for their kids, so they can bring up little humans that are less traumatized, kind of thing. I would have a list of like 15 things, but let me just do 5 today. Those are 4. The 5th thing I'd want to change about myself, I'm not sure if, not myself, but about my childhood and why. I'm not sure if I should say this. I'm not sure if it's going to be, some people are going to call me ungrateful or whatever, but here we are authentic, right? The 5th thing I want to change about my childhood is the way I was raised as a girl. As a girl, I grew up, first, I'm a third born of 6, so before me are 2 boys, after me is a boy and 2 girls. So most of my childhood, it was just me and boys. And for some reason, there was so many boys around. So many boys. There were so many boys around, like, outside, in my home, my cousins, friends around. There was just so many boys. So I was kibatimbaya too. Some people forgot that I'm a girl, kind of. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Because sometimes I don't get it. Normally, there's a way, I tend to believe there's a way you bring up a boy, going to be a man, and there's a way you bring up a girl, because, matters hygiene, matters whatever, matters vitu basic kama how you, how you, God, I don't have to say things that will make my parents look bad, but I just wish I don't know. I don't know how to say this in the most respectful way, but I'd also change that about my childhood. I'd change how the way I grew up, and change the way I was raised as a girl. I'd want more attention, affection, and guidance. I'd want to be taught 1, 2, 3 things about being a girl, what small usafi kind of thing. But then now, because why? As an adult, I had to gangster through and teach myself all these things. I had to even right now, I'm learning how to take care of myself as a woman, as a girl. So I don't know. It's important to. You can't blame these people because they'd never been parents before. Especially to a girl, being a firstborn girl, it was hard for them as well. So I really get it. At the time I was very, what do I say? Ilikuwa kwa ile face ya blame game. Blaming them for what? But then you realize that you can't blame people forever. You just have to pick up the pieces and reparent yourself. And, learn 1, 2, 3, 4 things about being a girl that you weren't taught. And, better yourself so you can be a better parent to your daughter one day, kind of thing. So I think that's it. This was a really brief episode. I enjoyed every single moment. Let me know anything or just two, 3 things you'd love to change about your childhood and why down below. And then, let's chat. Let's heal. Let's do a bit of therapy internally because honestly, not many of us can afford therapy. Therapy is really not that expensive, in case you're wondering. I pay 1,500 per session, and I can decide to do a session a month, 2 sessions a month, 5 sessions a year, whatever number. Also, this is therapy for me. So even speaking to your friends, to your family, to even there's free counseling, I think. And when I think we check some of the lines you can call for a bit of guidance and, counseling down below that is free. Yeah. So this was like a bit of a reflective episode. I felt a bit lonely that I was the only host today, but it happens, So, yeah, I'd love to challenge you to, reflect on your childhood a bit and see some of the things that you would love to change about it and why. Thank you so much for watching/listening. We'll see you in the next one. Subscribe. Bye-bye.